everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Queens of a New Season. As you can see, we're missing one of our sisters. She couldn't make it today. But me and Dawn, we're going to be discussing things about emotions and emotional scars. And I hope that this episode helps you because it's going to be topic where me and her are going to discuss our views on emotional scars and emotions and how they attach to one another. And I hope it helps you. I hope it really does. And it connects you more to where you can allow yourself to be healed by these emotional scars. So again, don't forget, go tune into YouTube, subscribe, and hit the bell so that every time we upload a new episode, you will be notified. And also check us out on Facebook. And we are going to open up other social media platforms that you'll be able to see our content and really, really get blessed by it. So that's our prayer. If you have any comments, please leave it down below on our YouTube video. We would love to hear from you and see how these things have helped you along with your life. And don't forget, Miss Dawn is an upcoming, rising, phenomenal life coach. Please go get into her Facebook page. What's your Facebook?
Della Dawn at Life Coaching. Della Dawn Life Coaching, and also on Instagram as Coach Dawn Thurland.
So don't forget, tune into that. So let's go into our topic. Thank you so much again for coming in. Dawn, we're going to be discussing about emotional scars. You know, we always talking on the phone, we talk a lot on the phone, guys. And so when we talk on the phone, we were talking about a certain situation that came up. And I'm going to be respectful of the person because I don't want to, oust her like that. It was something I asked, and it brought up emotional scars that I didn't realize I was still dealing with some stuff in my life. And I know that a lot of people don't realize that emotional scars are really mental scars. And they commonly refer to, it's mental scarring, but it's referred to as emotional scarring because it starts in the mind first before it starts anywhere else. Am I wrong to say that?
No, I mean, here's the thing. Emotional scars come from different things. It can come from experiences when you were younger that you don't even realize that is coming up and showing up in different areas of your life as we're adults now. But they are indeed scars. And your emotions from those scars are subconscious, and they show up and manifest consciously. So when something taps onto that area that wasn't healed, because I mean, even though it was a scar, sometimes those scars, they heal on the, you have a scratch, you heal on the outside, but on the inside it's still raw. It's still raw. So if somebody's tapping on that scar and some situation comes up and taps onto that scar that was never healed, that's where it comes up. But actually, to me, that was a blessing that it came up. Because now that you recognize where it came from, you can now ask God to help you heal that place. So that when it comes up again, it doesn't invoke emotions of anger, if that's what happened, and frustration and all that, because that's how it shows up. It shows up in anger. There's some emotional things that, like for me, for instance, we've had several car accidents, unfortunately, right? Not our fault. All of them from hitting us from behind. The very last one gave me 7 herniated discs. My husband 9. My daughter has 5. My granddaughter has 9 now, right?
Oh, wow.
So now when I'm in a car, and they all was coming from, that particular one was from behind, so was the other ones. When I'm in a car now, I get tense. So my emotions, the emotion that comes up is fear, is from that scar that I had from the, you know what I'm saying? So it comes up and it evokes so many physical, emotional,
You get anxiety.
You get anxiety about it. So that's the same thing that happened with you in the conversation that we had. And yours was dealing with something relational.
And the thing is that when you grow up in a household with a lot of siblings, like, in our household, there was a total of 6 of us, but I have 5 siblings. And you kind of get, because I was the youngest, I kind of got put it aside a little bit. Not that my mom meant to do that, it's just that she was so focused on the older ones to make sure that they were taken care of. To me, she felt like I was the baby, so I didn't need as much as attention in that time that she was giving to the older ones, because there was a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And she had 5 girls and 1 boy, so there was a lot of hormones running wild all over the house. So my mom was trying to not only take care of the family and help my father with the financial part. She was also kind of, in some way, without realizing it, kind of forgotten me a little bit on the side. So I felt a little bit invisible. Not that those were her intentions at all. It's just life happened around us. A lot of things were going on. And my mom wasn't dealing with a lot of emotional scars either. So I'm learning in here, and just to learn a little bit about the articles I've been reading. But emotional scarring is actually a mental health thing. You deal with it because it does stem from you getting anxiety. So when that conversation came up, it gave me anxiety in the sense where you feel, I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel like I can do much of anything. I felt kind of, if I do say this, then, she's not going to understand, and then maybe I'm going to hurt her feelings, and I don't want to hurt her feelings. Because you get to that place where you don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
But then you got to realize, okay, Carmen, like,
hurting you.
What's hurting me now? Because it's going to hurt me in a more of a way than it's going to hurt her. So she has to understand where I'm coming from. But at the end of the day, she's not. So it's like, okay, I'm going to put it this way. I'm going to love you, but it's a love with conditions, which really is frustrating to me, because it shouldn't be that way. Oops. Oh. Sorry, guys. I forgot to do what my husband just said. I just shut off my phone. But we're good. So at the end of the day, what happened was she really didn't understand where I was coming from. Like, she didn't understand. It wasn't about her. It was about me, where I am and where I want to be, and how I want her to really look at what I was trying to tell her as a form of respect. Because you kind of, I feel like sometimes you grow up and you don't, a lot of the women, I don't know if all the women are like this, and men do too, where they feel like certain things that they deal with, they don't get the respect that they're wanting. And that's also an emotional scar, because you don't, you grow up being so disrespected in certain things that you're wanting, that when you're wanting that respect and you don't get it, any little thing that you feel you don't feel you're getting respect from, boom, that emotional scar comes up. Hey, you're not respecting me in this area, you're not respecting me in that area. And I feel like that's where my scar is. Like, I didn't feel like I was being heard
or seen.
Exactly. And that's where that scar began to manifest. And it's like, I'm not a jealous wife, but I want this. I want you to understand me. And when I wasn't getting that from her, it frustrated me. That's when the emotion comes in. Now I'm frustrated. Now I'm angry. Now I'm going to be petty, and I'm going to dish out stuff, because you're not understanding. It's not about you. You're making it about you. And I'm going back and forth.
Right.
But you're making it about you. It ain't about you. It's about me. And if you're my friend, then you're supposed to understand this. Why not?
Well, this is where we know as coaches that we have to start working on ourselves, and we have to coach ourselves, because we know that there's nothing that we can do about how a person reacts, right? So because we can't control that, and we shouldn't be able to control themselves, we have to learn how we're going to react and teach and strengthen ourselves and heal ourselves, and of course through the Word of God and prayer.
Absolutely.
But also through learning things.
Yeah.
Because the more you learn about where those emotional scars come from and what that's really about, then you know where you can learn and strengthen that. We got to strengthen our inner being so that we can handle these things. Because there's no way in the world we're going to be able to handle someone else's reaction. We have to handle how you know what I'm saying? We have to learn how to control ourselves. We have to learn how to walk in integrity and not do the petty thing.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it worse. And then we don't know. And then also, once we strengthen ourselves, then we'll be able to look at it from the outside in, saying, you know what? Looking at a different perspective. What is that person going through? And what was that person's scars, and why that person is living that way?
Right.
You know, to do something and to inflict that kind of pain, or not look at me as a friend and say, hey, you know what, let me respect her boundaries. She's telling me boundaries and I'm not respecting it.
Yeah.
But I think initially it starts with us.
Yeah.
We have to, heal from those places, because
do. Because if not, then we're always going to get into that frustration, and it becomes part of our personhood.
Exactly.
In which we're not wanting it to be part of our personhood.
That's right.
And a lot of the times, like a lot, more than probably 60% of the time, our thing is to shut it down and just completely walk away from that person and say, I'm done. If you can't respect this, then we're no longer friends, And it happens, but sometimes you do got to learn to cut certain people out of your life.
That's true.
But you got to know when, and you got to know who, and you got to know how. And how does it affect those around you? Because now, here it is. You have a friend for 9, 20 years, whatever, and you have a disagreement. This person is not just plugged into you; he's plugged into your entire family.
That's right.
So if you completely rip yourself away from that person, you can expect that to happen with the entire family, because there's now a connection. Now there's different emotions and feelings happening there, in which I had to learn. Okay, just because I'm detaching doesn't mean my husband does, or my daughter does, or this one does. But they also have to respect how I feel about it.
Right.
Because sometimes those things can get gray in more ways than one. So you can't get upset with the people around you, because they still want to have that attachment. Because the situation didn't happen with them, it happened with me and that person. But they also have to understand, hey, I want you, to respect this.
That's right.
If she's asked you, then I'm going to respect her enough to say, hey, dude, you got to respect her in that area. I love you, I care about you, but just so that I can keep the peace, let's do these things and get that done. And I mean, I'm not severing my relationship, because that would be wrong for me to do, but I am going to keep it at a distance in a sense
because
that it cannot happen.
Certain people and certain relationships have to be put in certain areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you put them in compartments.
Yeah.
This is where you're gonna be, because I respect me.
Yes.
And I have a right to say you could be in this part of my space or that part of my space, because if you're not going to work on you, and I can't help you work on you, I need to protect me.
Right.
While I'm healing, and then even after I'm healing, you just know where to place that person. And at the same time, the open communication with your family and the people around you, they're knowing, okay, I know mommy ain't playing.
Yeah.
This is how you need to respect her boundaries. Respect.
Yeah.
Stuff.
And that's what I love about my daughter. Like my daughter, she, like me and her were talking. We got our toes done yesterday, and we got our nails done and stuff. And that's our thing. Like
that.
whenever we have a little extra money, we go and get our nails done, and we talk, and we get to sit down, and we have some bonding time, And so I love her, because she kind of said, Mom, I get where you're coming from. I understand, but you also got to understand where she's coming from. She's hurt. She's hurting. She has scars that she hasn't dealt with. And yet that whole conversation must have triggered something in her that caused her to react that way. And I said, I get that. But at the end of the day, you have to be mature enough to understand not all of us are in the same place.
Right.
And I get her scars, and I pray for those scars to be healed. But at the end of the day, we have to have a balance where we have that friendship.
That's true.
And it's important. And what I'm trying to get out of all of this is life will never be simple.
Right. Oh, girl.
Never be simple. You're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through, situations in your life that you don't have control. It's when you don't let those things define you.
Right.
And stop you from doing what your dreams are, what your goals are.
Right.
You posted that the other day.
Right.
You got to get your goals done.
Yeah.
You
Stay
can't let
focused.
nothing stop you.
That's
Stay
right.
focused on your goal, and don't let the stuff stop you from it.
Right.
You always got to strive for greatness, even when everything else seems like it's stopping you from getting it done.
That's right.
And I'm in a place right now where I'm focused to where I want to go, but I'm trying to heal in some areas, and I'm asking the closest people to me to say, hey, these are things. Now, I posted something the other day, and I don't go back on what I post, but I want to clarify something. If you're a married couple and you guys have a relationship, husband with husband, wife with wife, that's cool. Text each other. But if you got something personal that you want to discuss, don't discuss it with that woman's husband.
No.
Hey, that's a no-no.
That's a no.
Now, if you want to discuss it to them as a couple, then text them both.
Right.
So that they can both, you can get a perspective on the wife and the husband. But that, if you have a problem with your husband and you want to discuss it with someone who is single and married and private, nah. You add somebody to it, or go to somebody like, somebody you can trust, like a mentorship. My belief is, if you're having a problem in the marriage, text another woman.
Right.
Then get that perspective. And a married one. Someone is in a relationship, because if you're going to try to get the single part,
No.
you ain't going to get nothing good. You ain't going to get nothing good. So let's get to the point where Dawn is a coach, I'm a coach. Dawn has a way, I would recommend, like, if you really need that person to really drive you to the point into your core, like you're needing that. I'm a rough coach, so you need somebody loving, go to her. She'll love you through it all. I'm going to tell you, I'm raw. I'm going to tell you like it is. Now, don't get it twisted. Miss Dawn may look all innocent and everything, but she'll get on you when she need to get on you. She got a tough side of her. But I'm the type of person that's like, I'm the type of coach that I'm going to coach you through something, even through your most difficult moments.
Yeah.
I can be soft. There's a side of me that's soft. But I'm more of a mother. I'll nurture your purpose.
Right.
She'll nurture your purpose, but she'll push you into it. She'll make you focus on what's right in your life. Every coach is different, guys. There's not a coach that's the same. Every coach has a certain way of touching your life, helping you change through stuff. That's why I'm a true believer that is rather for two coaches to come together and work together to help people strive to get into their purpose than to be competitive.
Right.
There should be no competition in life coaching. Everybody just have this different strategies leading people to the same thing, to break them out of situations in their lives that they're stuck in.
Right.
Agree?
I totally agree with that. I mean, and there's certain people that would relate more. Like, for instance, I come to you for things because you keep me on track. Like, you are kind of, but some people need that.
Yes.
Some people
Yes.
need that, and some people strive for that. And then there's people that want the other person, like,
The nurturing.
I mean, you're nurturing as
Yeah.
well, but it's just different types of people that you are attracted to,
Yeah.
that you click with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but no,
Right.
I love for coaches to collaborate with one another, because you're dealing with a whole person.
Yeah,
You know
and
what
a
I'm
coach
saying?
needs a coach,
Oh,
by the way.
absolutely, all the time.
We all need it.
Absolutely.
If I need somebody to get my mind right and get me back into focus, I'm going to call Dawn.
And I do the same with her. She's my coach.
Yeah, because it's like coaches need coaches.
Yes.
We deal with a lot. We have to take on your issues and your problems and analyze them in our own selves
Yes.
in order to help you move further into your purpose and get your goals going. And that's important. And I want you to understand, this show was all about healing your emotional scars. And I'm using my personal views on how I had to heal. And Dawn has used hers in previous shows of how it takes to get to where you need to be. And we're doing it because we want to help you guys understand. You're not alone. You're not going through stuff by yourself. It's not like we all go through the same things in different ways. Just different actions came into our life. Different situations happen to us, but we all go through the same kind of pain.
Absolutely.
So you just got to understand, if you don't allow yourself to heal from a scar or from a hurt or from words that hit you, you'll never get to the place where God wants you. And it's not, don't always get to the point where you're wanting God to give you what you want. Allow God to give you what you need so that you can heal. So I thank you so much, guys, for coming into our show. We're going to continue this topic. Don't think this is just the first part of it. We're going to continue this topic to help you be able to overcome your scars, not just through your personal self, but through the Word of God. Psalms 51 is one you should stand on, because it does talk about how to stand in your scars with the Lord and how God can help you overcome them. So next time I come on, when I have more time, I will definitely share that with you. Don't forget to go to YouTube and go to Facebook to see this kind of content to help you through your walk in life. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you will know when we upload new episodes. Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great week.